Saint Bega's whole desire was to be betrothed to Christ, to be united to this one she loved with all her heart. As a young virgin, her devotion to Christ demanded that she leave her family home in Ireland and sail across the Irish Sea to Western England. That's scary for a young woman, likely a teenager. The legend of Saint Bega of Beegs opens with a princess in Ireland who is the daughter of a powerful king in Ireland. As a child, Bega was way beyond her years in spiritual maturity, being virtuous, intelligent, and desiring to serve God. On top of that, she loved to do handicrafts. When she came of age to be married, many suitors came to their abode, hoping to gain her hand in marriage, but she wanted no part of any of them. She only desired to be betrothed to God. One day, an angel was sent to Bega with an arm ring with a cross etched on it. That sealed this divine betrothal between she and God. In the meantime, the son of the King of Norway heard about her and sent an envoy to ask for her hand in marriage. We can only imagine that Bega's father quickly agreed on this marriage proposal and hoped that this will afford his kingdom peace and fame for himself. A huge and lavish party was provided for the Irish and Viking guests who arrived for this important wedding. Bega's father must have recognized her reluctance to enter this marriage. So he locked all the doors in the palace, and the strongest men of the area guarded the entrances and exits. These serious gatekeepers had daggers on their thighs, a spear in their hand, and a double-edged axe over their shoulder. Bega's father was going to ensure that this royal marriage was going to happen. While the wedding guests were wildly partying, Bega was furtively praying. In response to her prayer, a voice tells her to run for it while everyone is drunk and that a boat is waiting at the shore for her. Bega crossed the sea in this boat and landed at Saint Beegs in Western England. She lived for several years in the thick forests of Cumbria as a hermitess. Finding herself rejected by the people living along the coast, she survived on nourishment miraculously brought to her by seagulls and gannets. In the course of time, that coastline became frequented by pirates. Fearing the Viking pirates, not on account of her life or possible mutilation, but on account of her virginity, Bega left the Cumbrian coast. She traveled to Northumbria, where, on the advice of King Oswald, she professed her religious vows. She established a monastery at Saint Beegs, which later became a cell of the Benedictine Abbey of St. Mary at York. The people there came to revere her for her goodness and kindness, and she is still venerated in Northumbria and Scotland today. In the 12th century, her body was discovered and transferred to Whitby Abbey. Over the next 100 years, A series of 9 Bega-related miracles took place in Cumbria. Saint Bega is associated with a number of miracles, the most famous being the snow miracle, which is described in the life of Saint Bega. Ranulf Le Machine, a local landowner, fell into a dispute with the monks about boundaries. On the day the bounds were to be settled, snow fell everywhere around, except for the headland at Saint Beegs, where the priory lay. Anyone who lives near any British coastline, never mind Saint Beegs, will know that it's not that unusual for a strip of land near the sea to escape the worst of the weather. Another miracle tells of 2 sick brothers who, after seeing a vision at Teignmouth, traveled to Saint Beegs in a cart. They were healed, and when they left the cart behind in thanksgiving. The account of Saint Bega's flight from Ireland is found in the Life of Saint Bega, which was part of a collection of various English saints' lives that belonged to the Holmcoltrum Abbey and is dated to the mid-13th century. O Christ, may our hearts and our minds be like Bega's, centered upon you. As we are getting closer to the conclusion of our pilgrimage to the crochet, may we be ready to have you born again in our lives. Amen.